last one. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's not morning. Good afternoon. We're here to talk about engagement today and why it matters so much for our virtual settings. Engagement is critical, like to increase participation in those precious minutes we have with our students. It helps us to appeal to different learning preferences. They can be hands-on, it can be oral for our students, it can be kinesthetic, and it helps build a community of learners, which we just did right now with Rachel's activity. So go ahead and switch over. This is our third session, as Rachel mentioned. On our first session, we talked about 3 fast strategies for participation. At our second session, we talked about 3 fast strategies for collaboration. And today we're here to talk about 3 fast ones to build community in your classroom. And we're going to begin with our cold call warm-up. Before you click on that, Rachel, it's okay. The last final column that you saw was all of our intros so far. So if you're interested in these intros that we've done, you can go find them. We've included all of them from previous sessions, and they're all linked in our table of contents. So we did jumbled up intro and 6-word story. And tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning, we'll do our content delivery. And if you do join us tomorrow, make sure you have your espresso or your caffeine so you come ready to go. All right, so first we're gonna start with cold call warm-up. So in cold call warm-up, this could be used in a morning meeting. Like if you use cold call in your classroom, in your virtual setting, and you find when you call a student's name that there's like this long pause, and the student isn't necessarily engaging. You have multiple students who just like are camera off, mic off, and like maybe even log off as soon as you call your name. A cold call warm-up can get your class in the mood and like that kind of mental space to participate. But by doing it in a fun way that allows for that community, that sort of spirit of engagement to be fostered in a low stakes way. So during this sort of strategy, you would, in your morning meeting, ask a question based on your student interests with a limit of 2 to 4 choices so that students can choose and answer quickly. If you ask an open-ended question at this point, it'd be really hard to have a fast engagement. You might have students who are just like, oh, I don't know. So giving 2 to 4 options really provides that quick engagement. You want to display those options so students can pick quickly, unmute themselves, and then mute themselves again to share their answer when called on. And at the end of the lesson, you could even circle back to a student who just did a stellar job with their cold call that day. Their engagement was so much higher, and you want to honor that. You'd be like, Louise, you did such a fantastic job with cold call when it was your turn in math. Will you tell us why you chose pizza as your favorite food this morning? Tell us more about your favorite pizza. And so we're gonna try this out right now together. So get ready to mute and unmute. We're gonna do a cold call warm up, y'all. On my next slide, I have our question. Which superhero is best? You have 4 options. Since you guys may have an answer that's different, I will allow a 5th other option for when your name is called on. Which superhero is best? And we're going to do a variation, which is in a large class, you may have a competition of we have a timer going and we want to make sure we can unmute, mute ourselves again, and give our answers so quickly. We're going to beat the timer. We're going to beat the 3-minute timer. So let's do that. I think we can do it today. So our question is, which superhero is best? I gave you 4 choices, but I'm allowing a 5th other. The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Wonder Woman, or Batman are 4 choices I've provided today. When I call your name, your goal is to unmute very quickly, say which one is your favorite, and then mute yourself again, and we'll go on to the next student. And we're gonna beat the 3-minute timer. So if Rachel, you could start our timer. Our goal is to beat it. All right, Andrea.
Hulk.
April.
Wonder Woman.
Ashley.
Batman.
Fabiola.
Wonder Woman.
Jennifer.
Batman.
Jody.
Wonder Woman.
Jose.
Batman.
Lori.
Wonder Woman.
Lucretia.
Hulk.
Margaret.
Wonder Woman.
Marie.
Batman.
Nancy.
Wonder Woman.
And Rachel.
Thor.
Thor. I agree. Thor, especially in the last movie. If we definitely beat our timer, so that was fantastic. I should have made it much shorter for you all since you're experts. You could even have a student who you're like high flyer who needs a job that you need to give them a job, give them the job of tallying that day. And so you can warm up for your lesson where you'll be using cold call to manage the flow of your lesson by using a cold call warm up in your morning meeting. And that is cold call warm up. And I'm going to pass it off, if it will, to Rachel.
All right, so we are going to do another activity together called Squiggle Art, which is another great warm up for your morning meeting time. You might recognize this from the Kagan strategies because I took it right from there and turned it into a digital activity. So this is a great team builder if you're having students work in groups of 4. It should be something that is fun and easy for all. You could do this 2 times a week to get them working together and building their team relationships. So each member is going to choose a different color. Person 1 adds a line to the drawing, and then they rotate around, taking turns adding lines until the timer is up or until the image is done, whichever you decide to choose. So you can have your Squiggle Art start with any sort of line. I chose this image here that I found on the internet. You could make your own line to start or Google it, and there are a lot of different squiggles to get you started. So we are going to use this on a Jamboard. Again, I'm using a timer to keep us on track here, but we're actually going to give this a try. So this slide's a little busy because there's a lot of ways that you could do this. For our purposes today, since we're not using breakout rooms, I'm going to have you navigate to our Jamboard, and you are going to add your name to the first slide until there's 4 names. Once we get 4 here, you need to go to the next frame and add your slide. We only want 4 people working on a slide together. I'm going to use Kathy and Andrea here as an example really quickly. So I might claim mine first, and then Kathy and Andrea came in and added their names. So now we've got our order here. If you haven't used Jamboard before, our pen tool is right here. By clicking it again, you can change the color. So they would pick a different color than me. I'm going to choose yellow, and I might add my line there. Kathy's name comes after mine, so she would choose a different color and add on. So I'm going to put a link to this Jamboard in the chat for you, and I'll set our timer for 2 minutes so you can try this out. Your squiggle can become whatever you want it to be. You can only add 1 line or detail at a time. There's the Jamboard. And sorry, Kathy and Andrea, I'm going to delete your names if anybody else wants to add theirs here. And I will set a timer for 2 minutes to give this a try. Okay, you have about 20 seconds left. If you haven't added a line yet, please do. And I'm going to cycle back through and see what we've come up with. Okay, I'm going to stop our timer just short because it tends to get a little loud, but well done. I love the different details on all of these, and they all turned out so differently. So I just want to emphasize that we were able to do this whole group, and this required no talking. You were all able to participate, and think how strong of a skill that is for your teammates to be able to communicate without talking. And that I can tell everybody added because there are different colors here on each of your beautiful pictures. Now, like I said, there's a few different ways that we could go about doing this. I did it whole group because I knew you could handle it and handle really fast instructions that way. If your students need a little more structure, consider embedding this image of the Kagan management. You could put their names by each number so that they know the order that they need to go in and have that preset up on slides. You could also put them into breakout rooms so that they can communicate and talk out loud. Having the person with the closest birthday go first. There's some different ways to manage how they can communicate together as a team. So then the last thing you can do is do a gallery walk. Let teams share the image that they came up with and why they decided to add on certain lines. So I'm going to pass it on to Andrea.
Hello, good afternoon. So today we're going to be using the famous board game of Scattergories as a strategy for some community building today. And the reason that I'm going to do this is so that students can find some commonalities. They can kind of share their ideas. They can share with understanding and get ideas from their peers. It's fun, and it's a game that most kids have played before, or if not, you're introducing them to something they can play at home. You can come up with new ideas to create every day. So you can use this game over and over and over again. And then everybody gets an opportunity to share and opportunities to lead. And so coming up with those class community builders is really important. On this slide, there is a website to a game board if you wanted an online game board that kind of generates it for you, has the timer there built for you. As soon as you push play, the categories will unyield themselves and you'll be able to see what you're working on today. But it's even fun for teachers to come up with their own ideas. And so today I've come up with our own idea rather than using this game board. And we're going to take just a few minutes. Also in the notes of this slides, there are a bunch of other ideas to go along with this. So rather than overwhelming you with this right now, just know that look in the notes of the slides for more ideas around categories if that's something that you're interested in. But today we're going to do it teacher-led, so I'm going to just model the first one for you, and then we will have some leaders and sharers to give some ideas to help us. So on this next slide, we have 1 minute. We're going to use the chat box, and I know that you're all great typers in the chat box. So today my teacher's choice was using the letter M, so only words can start with the letter M, and it's places that you can visit. All of the places that you can visit, starting with the letter M. Do not enter your answers until the timer goes off, and we will get all of our answers at the same time. That way there's no name stealing, so you can't get ideas from other people. But today we're going to wait until the timer goes off after 1 minute, and then we'll be able to see everybody's ideas in the chat. So the ideas are places that you can visit, starting with the letter M. Rachel will start our timer, and then you can start typing. Ready, go. All right, now that time's up, everyone push enter. We can see all of the answers popping up into the chat at the same time. All of the different places that you can visit. Some people stuck with actual states or cities. Other people put lots of different other ideas that were just places, malls, buildings. I love it. Great ideas, everyone. Thank you for playing along. So now we're going to give the second round to my students. And so you are my students today. So the number 4 person on my list today is Fabiola. So Fabiola, if you can unmute yourself and give us a letter.
F for Fabiola.
F for Fabiola, I love it. And number 8 is Kathy James. Kathy, can you give us a topic?
Things you eat. I'm hungry. Sorry, guys.
Absolutely. So we are doing 1 minute. Again, wait until the timer goes off before you push enter. The letter is F, and it is things that you can eat. On Rachel's start, whenever she's ready, we will begin. Ready, go. Our time is up. Hopefully everyone pushed enter once our time was up. All of the great ideas. We could call on students to share some of their ideas if they wanted to. We could see which ideas we had in common. We could find some vocabulary in here that we didn't know about, and we could say, Marie, tell us about fava beans. What is that? Have you tried it? What does it taste like? We could build vocabulary and definitely build some community around the ideas that were put into our chat using Scattergories. And it just gives us a fun way to kind of warm up. You could do 1 a day. You could do them as brain breaks between subjects or time fillers if you needed to. And this is just a fun way to bring the game to your class and really kind of build in community while sharing knowledge and making our brains think a little bit. So hopefully you all enjoyed our fast, fabulous strategy of Scattergories today.
We want to hear from you all. Do you have any strategies that work in your virtual classroom? We realize 20 minutes is up, so we will hang out here afterwards. But if you have any ideas, please drop them in the chat. We'd love to be able to feature them in future Fast and Fabulous to share them. I see Fabiola says bingo. I'd love to see more. But thank you all for joining us today. You can always reach out to Andrea, Rachel, and myself. And we'd love to hear what are your Fast and Fabulous strategies to build community or to engage your students.
And please feel free to grab the link for these slides and share them with people at your school sites who might need more ideas. The QR code at the beginning gives you the other strategies as well. So thank you all for joining.